Hello, good morning.
How are you doing today?
Good. Thank you for joining me today.
No problem.
Yeah, cool. So let me share with you today's news. Okay, so the first one is on arpost.co. Yeah, and the title is How XR is Shaping the Future of Recruitment. And and this article, this news is written by Devil Devil S. On AR Post. So let's take a look of this news. So pretty much, there are 5 ways extended reality will change the workplace. So we all know that recruitment is a very important, um, things for a company because if you hire good talents, your company will totally rock. But otherwise, your company will go down because of the not so good talents in your company. So here are like 5 ways that XR will change the workplace of recruitment. Okay, so in this article, the author thinks that there are 5 elements. The first one is that by using XR, um, the employers can show their brand. So it is important for a company to showcase its vision, mission, and core values, to their best talent. And XR can definitely help display those as well. So, for example, if some talents jump into the recruiting process just by Zoom, you probably can see the face of recruiter by putting the talents in the environment. Pretty much the company can brand itself through the virtual space. For example, like put the banner, put the vision, put the missions, and all the core value in the space, so the potential talents will know more about the company. And the second is by putting the talents in the XR environment, pretty much you can test the candidate skills. For example, like it talks about gamification, right? And as for gamification, I would say it's not a game, right? It's putting some non-game contest by putting a lot of game mechanics onto it and make it gamify. The testing candidate skills or recruiting process itself is not a game, but by putting a lot of game mechanics, it's being gamified. So it's gamification. Okay, so playing games require people to commit to their tasks, so thereby enabling them to think much and put more efforts to the process, and also make those candidates put more efforts to play the game. And gamification makes the entire recruitment process fun and interactive while allowing you to access the candidates' basic skills and abilities. So you can pretty much implement gamification or some game mechanics into the XR space and giving your candidates some skill testing um, um, kind of like ways. Okay, so the third one will be XR can help interviewers test spatial skills. Yeah. So as for it is a little hard for the companies to test the spatial skills just by the traditional way of doing the test. So right now, like the recruiters, pretty much they can quickly test out those spatial skills by putting the candidate in the XR environment. For example, like XR environment motion graphics, those graphic designers. You can pretty much using XR to test and see how well they can construct or do the motion inside the 3D space. And the fourth one will be sharing the work environment. It is hard to just describe through video chat or through phone chat about the culture or the work environment inside the company. But by displaying positive workplace culture is crucial to recruit the best candidate. Yeah, so right now, it is very good, by using XR, you can pretty much showcase the work environment. The fifth one will be offer hands-on training. So not only you can test the candidate skills, but also you can offer hands-on training. There are a lot of, previous we discussed a lot of like training in VR or AR, especially for VR. It talks about if the company need to let the candidate expose in a little dangers or require a lot of experience in order for them to master in the environment. It's better for them to be trained in the AR or VR, especially VR space, because it can help the candidate simulate the real real world situation, and master the skill before putting them into the real world. So yeah, and another kind of post related to the XR in recruitment is if you go to Jaguar's website, media.jaguar.com, and the title the title is called Jaguar Land Rover, and Gorillaz seek new engineering talent by alternative reality. Yeah, there are so many different nouns like alternated reality or extended reality. Yeah, so yeah, or hyper reality. So it's like alternative reality. So pretty much Jaguar Land Rover use new Gorillaz mixed reality app as an innovative recruitment tool. So this app has a code-breaking challenge to test future engineering talent, and successful game players will be fast-tracked through Jaguar Land Rover's recruitment process. And Global Initiate aims to recruit more than 1,000 electronic and software engineers to Jaguar Land Rover expanding business. So pretty much, and they are looking for STEM, kind of like like STEM fields such as science, technology, engineering, and math. So I think XR can definitely help the recruitment process and also the training process. What do you think of the news? Any feedback for this, Ellen?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we've talked in the past about some applications regarding recruitment in companies in XR, but I think like one of the highlights, I guess, if you could say that, of this COVID period is that it's kind of forced a lot of companies to understand better the idea of remote working and what tools are available to do that. So I say thank God we had Zoom capabilities during this time, because it would have made it a lot harder if this would have happened 30 years ago or more. But because of that, obviously a lot of people were able to work and continue to kind of do what they did remotely, and it made it a little bit easier. But if you think about it, like if we took a step just a little bit further into the future, where more and more people had VR devices or AR kind of wearables, that even extends further the possibility of how we can interact. Everything from pre-job kind of situations where you're recruiting people to come into the company, to post-job where you're trying to train them or get them up to speed on certain things as well. So I definitely see a lot of areas where, especially in VR, this whole I guess idea is possible. Again, when you step into their world, especially in VR, you can actually for the most part, be at the company. And if you're interacting with another avatar, it's as if you were there. So it's a great way to kind of show what the company would look like, the environment, the type of people that might be around, the type of work that you might be doing, how you'd be interacting with the people, the clients, the work itself. So yeah, I mean, through a brochure and through a phone call, it's very difficult to convey the magic of how nice it would be to be there. But through VR, it's a lot easier to kind of do that. So, no, it is very interesting. And again, I think that the issue right now would just be the amount of people that have access to these devices. So I'm hoping, I thought I heard a rumor about Apple potentially having not only AR glasses, but VR capabilities as well. So if there's a point in the future when more and more people can have access to these devices, then obviously just makes it easier to interact with. Right now, you're kind of limited to which types of devices people have to interact with. But really exciting things to think about in the future.
Yeah, I think, pretty much in the future, if let's say, I think Jaguar, they are using gamification and put, Gorillaz. I think Gorillaz is like a music band, but they are doing a lot of really pioneer stuff. It's like enemy stuff. So
They've always been cutting edge.
yeah, and then right now they are using all those, like the iconic, like more, enemy stuff and integrate with gamification. I think those will, the platform will definitely attract a lot of people who love, more like, I would say, innovated software engineer to join the Jaguar team. And once you have a team of really innovative talents, you can create a lot of really fun or innovative apps. So I think pretty much they are doing something which is, very good. And also recruitment, I think, it's really important to bring people on board. I know like a lot of CEOs, their job, or like a really top tier company CEOs, their job is looking for talents. Yeah, because you need to build a good team in order to, fight. So I think talents is definitely really important.
Yeah, it's definitely on both sides. You definitely want the employee to fit in or want to fit in in looking for a specific type of job. And obviously, as an employer, you want the employee to fit in as well. So, the more you can utilize that technology and understand it better, that just helps. I know that, in some of the places I've worked in the past, we'll have clients that we talk to remotely, and they have a certain type of image of our company. And then when they actually physically come to the company and they see everything we're doing, it's just maybe a more magical experience. So, to be able to kind of remotely have that capability is great, obviously.
Yeah, and I really like those kind of like something fantasy mixed with reality. You can pretty much doing the motion graphic in the air in virtual reality or AR. I think that is cool. It's not like, oh, we need to jump into one media and right now we need to, pop in, but everything just, mixed together and you can see people's talent and people can see the environment.
Yeah, the other thing too is I know you're familiar with the company Spatial, but that capability, I think, as it starts to grow and they start to add more features, you could potentially design your own environment and then invite people in through that, as well. So those kind of like the metaverse, I guess you call it, but the ability to kind of have virtual worlds, virtual locations, interactions and stuff like that. It's really magical. For sure.
Yeah, right. And especially, I remember a few weeks ago, I went to All Space. As I always go back to All Space like once a while. And then, I was joining a speaker event. And then I find out that the really cool things is that they can open different rooms, right? And for example, I speak in this room and actually they will replicate this stage to other rooms. So pretty much it's amazing that I can I can do the same thing in different multiple space. Yeah, that concept was like, before you thought like, oh, I joined this room, I couldn't really do anything in other room, but actually you can be in multiple stage and doing the same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of you talk about gamification, which is awesome. Um, but that's kind of the beauty of, I guess in this case, the VR world, is that you're simulating reality. So I'm inviting everybody into my personal conference room to discuss a certain topic, like I would in reality. But the difference is, in this virtual world, I can have all kinds of things happening, like digitally speaking, and I can have different types of experiences because it's a digital world, not necessarily a real world.
Yeah.
But it just adds to the kind of the fun, I guess you say, if you want to, all of a sudden, in the middle of the conference, if you wanted to stop and take a break and say, hey, we're going to play a video game now, so we're going to, shoot the little diamonds in the sky or do some type of fun, together interactive, experience. You can do that type of stuff in a VR world. Like, you don't have to be limited to just the standard things we normally do. So now it gives you the ability to kind of just do more than what we would have done in the past. So.
Yeah, I feel like the physics or the law inside the reality is, is pretty much being broken to or like being, break to this virtual world. For example, like you see like in I forgot the name, but in another kind of like a virtual like author, I forgot the name. Yeah, but it seems like they have a little blue bubble, and once you get in, and it becomes like nobody will hear what you talk about, right? So yeah, in real world, you can still peep in, on the door, you can still hear something, right? But due to the physics, the law of physics, because like the sound needs some media, right, agent, so you can still hear something. But in the virtual reality, you can start doing something that before we thought like, oh, you only need like a superpower, or it's sci-fi. But everything you see, like you can apply a lot of amazing that impossible to do in reality, but right now in virtual world you can pretty much do nearly anything you want. It's
And that's really kind of the magic that I love about it, is because it's not something like, if I went to my office right now and we went in the conference room, I know that physically, like, there's just only so many things that we can do there. If we want to pull in a 3D kind of an object that we want to talk about, we either can display it on the screen in front of us, but we have to kind of have it in a 2D kind of manner, or we physically have to bring the product out and then kind of interact with that. But in virtual reality, of course, you could do just about anything you want, have it kind of sitting there in front of you and everybody kind of walking around it, talking about it, pull it apart, take different pieces off, and have videos pop up around it. There's just so much. And then thinking about, like, so if I could do that, what else could I potentially do, or make it funner or more interactive? And so it really kind of gives you the ability to think about things that probably have never been done before, which is just awesome.
Yeah, right. I think this is amazing and totally break our imagination. And then so I think using XR can actually break. It's kind of like a kids learning stuff. Like we start forget our reality limitation, and we start thinking for something that is out of box. And then so if you do a lot of, for example, like testing, training, or recruitment process, doing some testing, then it can really bring the imagination out of people or talents, and they can create something. Maybe it cannot be done right now, but it might be possible to done in the future or in different planet. Let's say you see like maybe we have gravity or something, limitation, but in other planet, in other environment, it might not, be the problem or something. Yeah. So I think this is pretty cool. Yeah. Okay. So another news is like two of them are Lego. Yeah. So if you go to XReality mobile AR news, you will see the news. And the title is called Lego Transforms Status into AR Creatures that Legoland Windsor Theme Park by Mobile AR. So this article is written by Tommy Polandino. Yeah, so pretty much this, I would say that this app is, like a little similar to a lot of different apps we mentioned before. That once you kind of in a place and it will arouse some, or like you can see some creatures flying or, like visiting other world. So it's called Mythica. This app is called Mythica, uh, World of Mythical Creature at Legoland Windsor in UK. So yeah, so you can take a look of different kind of creative creatures, in the world. So yeah, so this news is a little similar to the next one. The next one is also Lego. So it's still in the next reality, and next.reality.news, and the title is called "Hands On with the Lego Snapchat Augmented Reality Experience that lets you build with your friends remotely." So it's also Lego, but the difference is that previously the Lego was built on Zapper's AR platform. But this one, Lego was doing some really fun things on Snapchat. And we all know that Snapchat is targeting more Gen Z, young generation. And this allows them to use the virtual blocks to create different types of, Lego car. And they can pretty much, there are some multiplayer usage. So you can, share or like co-create some fun Lego stuff with your friends. So yeah, so it's very interesting to create some Lego or some interesting creations using Lego blocks to create with your friends. So for me, remind me of Lego. They kind of want to switch because like each Lego blocks is made of plastics, right? And especially right now, the climate change, we want to reduce the plastic. We want to reduce all the waste. So how can we do that? Maybe AR is the answer, right? We didn't lose the traditional or lose the concept of Lego blocks, because Lego blocks is like using the simple elements like Minecraft, using the single elements to help children to create unlimited out of their unlimited imagination. But by using AR technology, we don't produce a lot of waste or like plastic blocks. Instead, we still keep the same concept, but we can reduce a lot of plastics, but we still achieve the same result. Yeah, I think those are pretty cool from Lego. Do you have any thoughts, Ellen, for the news for Lego?
Yeah, definitely. As long as I've been working with AR, so it's been many, many years now, I've really appreciated and been kind of fascinated with some of the companies, the bigger companies who have embraced the technology. And I know Lego was kind of one of the first major companies to jump in and embrace it. I believe they still have them, but they definitely had them in the past. The kiosk at the stores. So if you went to the Lego store, you could take some of the premium packages, Lego packages, up to this kiosk, and it would actually pull up AR content on top of the package and show you what the actual toy would be once it was built, and it would be animated and whatnot. So I thought, when that happened, I thought, well, this is a brilliant use of AR. Like, it's just a perfect concept of how it can be used to help sell the product and interact with the customer. So they've always been kind of cutting edge with AR is concerned. So I'm not surprised at all that they're taking it kind of the next step and integrating some of this stuff in their products there. But yeah, I mean, I love the idea of that. I think as the technology grows, you have the ability to capture a point cloud in your house. I would think it would be kind of cool that kids could interact together with that point cloud and kind of contribute, even if they're not together, in building a Lego environment, a virtual Lego environment where they could see something that maybe one of their friends is building inside of their room as well. But yeah, with like a point cloud map, you could basically map your environment and then have other people contribute to it as well. So from a game standpoint, it allows kids, to be able to do that as well. That's, I love that kids can do this. That's actually available to them as well as adults. But yeah, it's just showing how the technology is kind of evolving, and we're able to utilize it better in some of these scenarios. So yeah, it's very, very cool.
Yeah, so I was even thinking about maybe, those companies, they are so rich, right? And then as long as you have, a point cloud or a storage place, you can always map your reality. Maybe in the future, all the companies, for example, like they can pretty much map, some different reality. Once it's similar to radio, right? If you switch your tune, you can listen to other station. So maybe there's a way that you tune to another reality, and then maybe a big company like Lego just buy the whole world, like another layer of a whole world, and you can create another Lego land. And and you see, like people even sell the NFT, right? Like the little square hexagon. Yeah, so maybe in the future it's like a few million realities, and all you need to do is to wear a goggle, and you tune into whatever reality you want to go. For example, Lego, right? Kids, instead of watching TV, they tune into Disneyland, and whatever they go is a Disney stuff, right? And Disney will hire a bunch of people and start mapping around the world and making it a theme park or something. Yeah, and you probably need to subscribe it, or they will cut you.
There's going to be a million posts. Money or advertising. There's no doubt that'll sneak in somewhere. But yeah, I don't know. I was thinking about that if you had like a virtual, the capability of kind of mapping out a virtual environment based off of real kind of lands. We talked about the NFT thing before, or the blockchain technology. But yeah, if you were able to have these companies offer some of their virtual products that you could place in those spots, then you kind of monetize their brand as well as allowing the person to kind of build around that as well. So yeah, it makes for a very interesting kind of future when it comes to this stuff. But yeah, we'll just have to see how it develops. But, I love that Lego kind of keeps kind of pursuing the technology and developing it. So.
Yeah, and maybe inception is the norm, right? You are jumping to another reality of reality, and it's all reality. It's just on top of reality. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. Yeah, cool. Yeah, so that's today's news, and thank you for joining me today, Ellen, and hopefully see you tomorrow.
Okay,
thank you. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. See you tomorrow.